Hello and welcome back to my katakana lessons. So far I have taught the vowels in katakana, the K sounds, kaki kukeko, the T column, tachitsuteto, and S column, sashisuse. And I also introduced some combinations with the vowels. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's good to go back and review those things. So katakana is getting a little bit more complicated because we have to combine everything we learned with hiragana with the small tsu, and writing the vowels small and things like that. But anyway, let's get into this little quiz I made. Most of it is just words that I taught in my last lesson. So even though I discourage romaji, it's good for quizzing purposes. So to show that you know what these are in Japanese. So this first word I didn't teach in the last lesson, but if you know the characters, which you should know how to write it. So we have an a, e, and su, and that makes the word aisu. Aisu. And this just means ice. Aisu. Next we have, right here we have keiki. So keiki, I'm going to draw a line above the E to show that the E sound is stretched out, and a ki. That's cake. Next we have saka, which means soccer. So we have sa. We have small tsu, so we need to write two K's. Ka and elongation. That's soccer. Alright, here we have a she, but with the 10 symbol. So it's G. We have a small e. Vowel. We have a small tsu and a to. So instead of G with the small e there, it becomes J. So we get rid of that I and it becomes J. So J, and then we have to, two T's, jetto. That's a jet. Okay, next we have cheku. So we have a chi. Let's write it up here. But with the e symbol, it's gonna become che. So chi with small e becomes che. So che, small tsu, we're gonna make two K's here, check, and then ku. Let's check. Okay, now we have chiketto. Chiketto. We have a chi, k, small tsu, so we need two T's for to. Let's ticket. Alright, and then we learned to in katakana, but with the 10 symbol, it becomes do. So do, then we have e and a large tsu. So doitsu, that means Germany. Right, and then we have here, we have sudoa, and that means store. So sudoa, store. Okay, and now we're going to do the reverse. We're going to have our words here in English, and we need to write it in katakana. So we have the word set. In Japanese, it's setto. So we need a se, it's like that, small tsu, and to. Setto. Okay, we have the word Chicago. In Japanese, it's Chicago. So we need a shi. The line goes up for shi, ka. Oh, my bad. Ignore that. Ka is like this. And go. So we need the ko with the ten makes go. Chicago. Okay, Switzerland, which is Suisu. So we have Suisu. Thailand, we have Thai. Just say Thai. Ta and E. Okay, tour would be tour. So we need to write a tsu, and the line goes down. And we have a big a, and make, I think this is called a no basu symbol. It means to stretch it out. Alright, this one's a little more involved. Artist, artisto. Okay, we start with a. Okay, a, make a long sound. We gotta write te, and then a small e to make a t sound instead of te. Su and to. So a, ti, su, to. Oops, I got like my little light on. It's like, I don't know if it's good or bad. It's like causing a glare of some sort. Let me turn it off. Okay, maybe that's better. Alright, and this part's more difficult because it's those foreign sounds. Sometimes it's not intuitive, but these ones aren't really that hard. Okay, we have a de here with small e. So these second characters here, it's kind of hard to tell, but they're smaller than the other one. Let me turn the light back up. I feel like it's, oh my goodness. I don't know what to do with these lights. I want to move down a bit more. Okay, so it's like centered. Okay, so we have a de, but we have the e character here. So we have a de, and then we have a small e, but we're going to get rid of this e and make d. So these aren't words, these are just sounds. Okay, here we have a chi plus a small e. Get rid of the I. So it's che. Chi and N make che. Okay, here we have tsu and a small o. So we're gonna get rid of the u and t. It's tso. So I don't think you see this one very much, but like it is possible. Alright, here we have ki, small e, get rid of the I, and it becomes K, but you can also write it like K-Y-E. because we want to symbolize that this is a combination sound, and it's not just like, you know, it's not this, it's not that K, but it's a combination. So K. So if you want to add that Y there, that's why Romaji is not perfect. But I just want to make sure that you understand the concept is all. Alright, this time it's a ki with ten, so it's a gi and an e. So when I write ge, or go ahead and write ge. Right here we have a ku and a small a. But no more U sound. It's gonna be kwa. Ku and I'll make kwa. So it's not really, so like what I'm doing doesn't really work for this one. We're gonna make it KWA, because I know there's no W here, but when you sound it out, ku and ah, it makes kwa, kwa, kwa. So that's why we added the W there. So it's like a kwa sound. For example, cuatro in Spanish, which I think means four. But yeah, that's the example that I found it from. Alright, and then a ku and a e. Ku and small e. And make kui. So KWI. So for example, the word quick is quick. So ku, quick, quick. Alright, and then we have a chi and a small e. This is che. And then here we have a toe and a small oo. Makes a two sound. For example, 20 in Japanese would be 20. So yeah, this part of katakana I think makes it difficult, because like you're like, how do I write it in Romaji? And it's not always easy, but just try your best. Yeah, so, and also there were some more combinations that I didn't teach last lesson, so I'm going to do that this lesson. Alright, so let's get into the actual lesson part. First things first, I did make one mistake in my last lesson, and that was the word toast. I wrote it as tosto, but toast is actually to with the nobasu sign, and then suto. But last time I wrote it without this, and that was incorrect, so that was my bad. Alright, the next thing I want to show you guys is this is the u katakana, and it also can be combined with other vowels. So like it can be combined with ah, small ah. Now let's just do all of them. E. Okay. E, u, and then e, and o. this is where it gets tricky. So some Japanese people, they'll put the 10-10 symbol here, and this is a V sound. But some will simply just use the actual B characters, like ba, bi, bu, be, bo. Let's see, which I haven't showed you yet, so I'm not going to write it. But for now, let's just play with the idea that when you see this, it's a V, okay? Alright, so we're going to add our 10-10 here to all of these. So we have a V, remember this is V, and then we have a small A, so this is Va. Okay, and then we have V again, and an I. So V. You can't really add a U to an U, but this by itself, it can just, it can be Vu. Like if there's nothing there. Okay, we have V and E, so that makes V. And V, O, Vo. So that is how we make our V combination sounds in Japanese. Va, Vi, Vu, Ve, Vo. So yes, this is just V, but if you see it by itself in a word, it's Vu. So for example, Christmas Eve, if you say it in Japanese, it's Kurisumasu Ibu. So like Ibu, Eve would be Ivu. Ivu. An example with Va would be the word violin. So it would be said as violin, 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 or violin. With V, let's see, example would be viola or viola, viola, viola. I guess that's another type of instrument. Vu, we already did this one. Ve, let's see, for example, Beethoven. 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 And with vo, let's do the word volume. 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 So I'll show you this. This is where I got it from. My book here really quick. I think it's like, gotta focus the camera. So here's va and violin, vi, viola, viola, vu, Christmas Eve, ve, Beethoven, Beethoven, vo, volume. So some Japanese transcribe the foreign sound V as that symbol, but most simply use ba, bi, bu, be, bo, which I haven't shown you yet, which represent the more usual Japanese pronunciation. So if you feel like, oh, I have a hard time remembering how the V's work, most likely you'll see the B katakanas written with it instead, so don't worry about it too much. Note that the katakana spelling of foreign loan words may differ from person to person depending on each speaker's pronunciation. Alright, so there you have it. So that's actually a really important lesson to know about katakana, because you still probably will see some of these in writing. Alright, so to finish off this lesson, I think we're just going to do the one line here with the na sounds, since it took me time to do the quiz and teaching the combination sounds. But we're going to do na, ni, nu, ne, no now. So na, or N-column, katakana. Okay, so for na, pretty simple, a line across. Sorry, let me write na, ni, nu, ne, no. Alright, so it was a line across and line down. So it's not like just a plus, it is curved to the left a little bit. Okay, and that's na. Okay, ni is like that. It's just two lines and the one under it is longer. This is also the kanji symbol for ni, or two in Japanese. But we'll talk about that later. Alright, for new, like that, and a line through it, just like that. That's new. For ne, let's see, a little line on top. This one, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. A little more fancy looking one. Alright, and for no, it's simply a line down. So start from the top and go down. That's no. It almost feels silly teaching it because it's so simple. Do you guys remember so? Last time I taught S sounds, and so was a small line and then a line down. So yeah, no is the so, but without the line. It does not have the line, the small line. Well, that's one way to remember it. Alright, so I got a word here for you. We're going to do the word Canada, which is Canada. So we have ka, na, and da, which is a ta with 10. So Canada makes Canada. For ni, we're going to do tennis, which is tennisu. Tennisu. So we need a te, ni, and su. That's tennis. Tennisu. For nu, we're going to do the word ainu. Ainu, which means Ainu. And we're also going to do the word canoe, which is canoe. Canoe. For no, we're gonna do the word note or noto. Noto. Well, actually, noto doesn't mean note, it means notebook. So, notebook. So, it's a shortened form of the word notobuku, but instead to just say noto. We're going to do the word knock, which is a no, small tsu, and ku. So no, noku, or knock. So yeah, there are a lot of foreign words written with katakana, as you can see. But I'm gonna end this video here because we're already at 26 minutes. But next time we will learn more. So ganbatte, do your best, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.